I'm going to order pizza. Look at me, I'm on the phone. Right now, I started calling and I am hungry to people. So while I wait, I start to sing the song of my people. Now, since I was a baby, let's sing the pizza song. You think that I want that stick? Oh, this is also wrong. I only want that pizza. I said so on the phone. Now, sandwich is for babies, and stick is also bad. So I sing a song for pizza. So sing with me, my friend.
Oh man, chat's making me feel old again. It keeps happening. All the people asking if the scout is Jim. Oh my God, I know it's a joke, but Jesus Christ, there are two kinds of people: people who remember this song when it was brand new, and people who are either women, are too old, or are too young to remember this song. Because I did not grow up as a teenage boy in the late 2000s, where TF2 completely dominated the entire market of video games for a solid decade. It makes me feel old because I remember watching this. I guess you would call it a machinima. I remember watching this, just going through Rubberfruit's old shit because I liked it when I played TF2, and I remember thinking, because at the time Overwatch was super massive. Overwatch was super massive, and I remember thinking, God, like nothing like this has ever. I think that was even like a what's the area code for Washington D.C.? Okay, it was New Jersey. It wasn't Washington D.C. I got a call from the DC area code recently, and I picked it up thinking it was someone offering me a ton of money for something ethically questionable, and it was just a fucking robo-dialer from DC. I think I told that story on air. Anyways, I was talking about Overwatch, and I remember thinking when I first saw, well, not when I first saw this, but when I revisited this a couple years ago, during the height of Overwatch, thinking, like, God, they never did anything fun like this for Overwatch. What's all the Overwatch machinima? And then I remembered, oh, it's just porn. It's a game full of like women, so all the machinima is just porn of it. But with TF2, I mean, there's a lot of porn like TF2 and South Park, but it's like gay porn, so it's not as popular. So the people that made machinima of TF2 did fun stuff like the pizza song, which I've of course played today because today's pizza day, and eventually I have one more pizza related song which is going to have to wait until the second Friday of September, because as I mentioned earlier this month, I am going on a vacay. I am taking a break. I'm taking a week to isolate myself from the internet, which will cover the 1st to the 7th of September. So I will be gone on that Friday, the first Friday of September. I'm thinking of making a. No, I'll leave it as a surprise. But yeah, good memories. The whole TF2 stuff. I played TF2 recently, and I got into it for like a weekend, and it just wasn't the same game because of all the fucking bullshit. And I played in like a weird like modded version that was like a vanilla copy of TF2, but it was ran by like furries and shit, and I was just like, it was like a super woke development team. I was just like, I can't like if I tried to host a TF2 server for this community thing, it would be a disaster trying to deal with the people. It would be like Space Station, having to deal with the fucking people that work with it to get it up. But whatever. So, the weekly roundup. Let's cover our bases. I have harvested the banana peppers. The cycle is almost complete. And just in time, because after... they're in the fridge right now. This is the full harvest. Not as many as I was hoping for. I was hoping to get several big jars full of it, but I didn't do a good job dealing with the aphids. So I cut up the ones that I had. I followed that Jewish kosher recipe that I got. Someone just randomly emailed me their dead Jewish Polish grandmother's recipe for pickling Hungarian wax peppers, and so I followed that. There were recipes for like Subway style banana peppers, but they're all kind of fucking boring. So I was like, fuck it, I'll take a risk. I'll do the Jewish banana peppers, because why not? For the memes, right? Now they're sitting in my fridge, and I'm gonna go on my trip. And when I come back, first thing I'm gonna do, actually for that Friday, here's my plan. For the second Friday on the stream day after I come back, instead of ordering a pizza, I'll go get a Subway sandwich, and I'll deck it out, and I'll put the banana peppers on it, and I'll eat it, and I'll report to you guys if it was worth the effort. If it was worth the effort of buying fertilizer and pots and importing seeds from the United States and growing them myself over an entire harvest season, so that I could have a single jar of banana peppers by the end of it. A single jar of banana peppers and a pigeon. That pot needs to be cleaned thoroughly. I didn't realize that pigeons... I mean, I guess I should have realized that they would shit like that, but they're very cute, so look at them. Look at how ugly they are. But they're getting big. They're almost like full pigeon size now. They're very cute. I like them a lot. I hope that... it might be sad. I might not even get to say goodbye to Jeffrey Eggstein and Chantal. I'll come home, and... it'll be an empty home. The birds will have left the nest. My banana peppers will be all cut down. How depressing, chat. How depressing. Very sad, but it's the nature of life. We have to move. We have to learn to deal with the natural progression of things. We can't be feeling sorry for ourselves because our birds have left us. Such is life. Such is life, chat. A pit bull. No, I'm safe. I'm in an apartment. No pit bulls. I don't know if they have pit bulls here. I'm pretty sure like every European country has banned pit bulls because they're like, oh, these are like gross black people dogs that kill children. No, thank you. We'll stick with like good European dogs that don't maul children randomly, spontaneously. Good European dogs like here's a really this one comes from Russia. This is a classic, famous breed that everyone recognizes. Very, very established breed. The Borzoi, of course, a European staple that everyone admires and loves. A dog, by the way, which I have defended in the past because everyone makes fun of the Borzoi for having a long nose, a trait that's often maligned with certain other undesirables, but I have defended their integrity in the past because they are a wolf dog, which means that they are bred to stave off predatory animals. And there are stories of the long fur. I'll show you another picture. The Borzoi usually has a long coat, and that's because it helps if a wolf tries to bite at a Borzoi, it'll get a mouthful of fur as opposed to a bite of flesh. And there are stories of Borzoi defending off aggressive pit bulls trying to attack families. So we love the Borzoi, of course, and we don't have. And thanks to their careful watch over Europe, there are no pit bulls to eat my fucking pigeon babies. So I will rest easy. Oh, before I forget. Here, this is my weigh-in video. I think this is it. Let me double check. I don't want to pull this up randomly. Yeah, that's it. This is in the morning, so if I sound weird, that's why. Okay, just weighed in at 118.2 without clothes. And with clothes and camera, I am at 119 exactly. And I'm hungry, so I'm gonna order pizza. So that is 118.2 kilograms, which is 260.5 pounds. So I am down 35 pounds from my maximum. I don't remember how much I weighed when I started the competition, but I'm just, like I said, I'm just doing it for me. So 118. I'm actually surprised because I thought I had I made myself a burger today, or not today, but this week, and I thought I probably put too much mayo on it. But no, I mean I made up for it. I went for walks and shit, and in the park nearby, but. So 1 kilogram exactly, I think, which is exactly what my goal is. So I'm quite happy with that. I cannot complain at all. Oh, and finally some good news on the coin front. So this is I've already shown final product things, but this was them testing with I believe this is what it does is it uses a actually I'm not sure, this is different than what I thought. There's like you know how with pregnant women you have like sonar to check and see if like to do like echoes of like the baby to get like an image of it in the womb. You can do that with metal. If you set the frequency to what you know a metal should have, it can tell you how deep that frequency can penetrate, so you can test if it's pure silver or not. But this is a different test. And this is a scale, and it's 31.10 grams. That is exactly 1 troy ounce. And this is the video. It's so fucking shiny. It's crazy. Hopefully the forum is gonna cooperate and let me play this fucking video, which I should have downloaded, but I did not. Out of infinite ego, I presumed that my website could play video. Oh well, I guess not. I feel bad because I'm going this week, and I just know, like I know, as soon as I leave, the site's gonna get attacked again, and I don't even know what I'm gonna do for it. I might just have to like come back a week later and deal with it then. Actually, I do have a copy of it. What is this? I just want to show people how shiny it is because it's cool. It's really fucking cool. Oh, here we go. It's 4.9 silver. Usually a coin is 3.9 silver, but with 4.9 silver, it's actually so shiny that it's like a mirror. And in fact, mirrors in the olden days used to be made of silver. They were pure silver is what made the reflective material in a mirror, which is why the myth that vampires don't have a reflection came about. It's not that they don't have a reflection, it's that the reflection off a silver mirror would not reflect them because they're repellent to silver, which has a holy like stigma attached to it. So that's where that myth comes from, is how mirrors used to be made. So that's why it's so fucking shiny. So I'm very happy with it. $750. They've already mailed that out to the warehouse, and I'm contacting the fulfillment center and making sure that they're prepared for those coins to come in, and hopefully it'll work out. It would be really cool to have a fulfillment center that can do shit like that for me. I would really love that. So fingers crossed. Okay. I know I've been saying I don't want to talk about Ethan for a while, but this news just came in, and I have to read it, and I have to set the tone correctly. So, this is my son, Ethan. He took his own life on the 18th of August, 2021. Outside of being at the mercy of our federal government, our lives haven't felt that abnormal these past few months. Ethan was always a fiercely intelligent man with a never-ending thirst for knowledge. He was always capable of critical thought, even from a young age. It made parent-teacher meetings very interesting, but I digress. Ethan showed me the importance of vitamin D and its proven benefits in strengthening our immune systems, which is how we formed this ritual between us, where we take our staffy, Milo, on a walk each Arvo. I felt like the walks had a positive impact on our relationship and our health, as we be free to appreciate nature, free from technology and everything else that's been going on. On the 11th, during our walk, Ethan broke down crying. He told me that he loved me and was thankful for everything. My son and I have always been close, as it's been the two of us since he was 4. But there was something different about how he was saying it. He had never been much of a crier. It was the way he said it. Dad, I love you. I mean, I love you no matter what, okay? I had no idea what matter what meant. I told him I loved him too. I would also love him no matter what, and he will always be my son. I asked him if there was anything he was worried about. He told me that he was feeling stressed about uni. He took the HSC last year, which was a massive trek for him, and he wasn't up for round 2 in uni because of the amount of coursework that is expected of him in his law degree. I told him that I would continue to help him in any way that was possible, and that I'd always be there for him. He seemed to be a lot better after that day, if you ask me. I would say that he seemed to be in an even better spirit after our chat, like a huge weight was off his chest, had been lifted. But I guess it was, because I found my son in his room on the 19th of August. He left a note for me explaining how he was sorry, but he did not want this to be his life. He did not want to live in a cage for the rest of his life. He explained that he was anticipating adulthood, freedom, and the real world, only for that to be snatched from him at the very last second. His first semester of uni was amazing, if we look at his marks, but it was painfully lonely for him. He made no new friends, as his high school friends had all turned his back on him for daring to think differently. The emotional effect of the lockdowns on our youth has been largely ignored. I would never have thought that Ethan would have chosen to leave us this way. The last few days have been an emotional roller coaster of grieving, anger, and regret. Please, pay attention to your kids. This has all been a massive shock for them. For a lot of them, school is their world. Their world had been taken away from them. I want our kids to be happy because they're our future, and I don't want any more parents to experience what I've had to in the past 72 hours. I'm sorry, Ethan. So, this was posted to a anti-vaccine, anti-lockdown group on Facebook, and was posted then to No New Normal, a quarantined anti-lockdown subreddit, and was viral that poor Ethan had killed himself. If you don't know, that's me. This post is completely bullshit. And someone used my fucking pictures. Someone who I assume does not like me, because they picked the worst possible pictures you could ever fucking use of me in this collage. And they said, that's it. And it got shared all over the fucking place. And people found it and they sent it back to me. And everyone had a good laugh. And it has to be a troll, because they named the kid's name is Ethan. So yeah, that's like a meme. That's a meme, dude. But I saw this and I laughed, so I thought you guys would appreciate it. Unfortunately, we do have to talk about the other Ethan. The less fun Ethan. The bitter, angry Ethan. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go out of order. I have my notes here. I was gonna segue directly into Ralph, but nah, I'm gonna talk about Chantal first, actually, because she's more fun. Chantal is now calling herself a coke addict. She was just taking upon the mantle of coke addict, and she's in like this on and off abusive relationship with that Egyptian guy Nadir, who she calls Dom, and it's apparently a very abusive relationship. Surprise, he's like a cook who's addicted to methamphetamine or some shit. She'll find half-used pipes, glass pipes on the carpet of his house and just like smoke the residue out of the methamphetamine pipe. And then he'll beat her and apparently sexually assault her, allegedly. So some random girl named French Fry Girl or something messages Chantal on Instagram and gives her some bullshit and says, I know Nadir, I'm an ex of his, I know he's abusive, and if you'd like to talk to me about him, here's my phone number. And Chantal actually took up this offer, and she had a very candid conversation with this French fry girl about Nadir, and told her the details of this abuse. Now, I don't know if the phone call is actually out there. Supposedly it is, but the gist is that he's very, he shoves her around and shit. He's apparently physically abusive. And she said that Chantal had mentioned, or I think French Fry Girl had alleged, sexual abuse, too. So, just, painted Nadir in, the nastiest way possible. Oh, so, anyways, just paints Nadir in the nastiest way possible. Basically, I don't know if she said that she was an ex of Nadir or just had an abusive history herself. Whatever, doesn't matter. Point is that Chantal kind of spilled her guts to him, or to French Fry Girl, and then French Fry Girl. Actually, what happened is that Chantal gave Nadir her phone number. And Nadir and her had a very spastic shouting match over the phone or some shit. So French Fry Girl then felt that she had casus belli to publish these intimate details of her relationship to YouTube. And so French Fry Girl boots up a stream. It gets 5,000 viewers. And then Chantal is also streaming. And she is on pure coke rage. She is fucking yelling and shit. Obviously very angry at this woman for telling people what she had told her in private, and is just saying she's fucking ugly and she's a horrible, mean-spirited person, that she is going to be contacting YouTube to get her channel deleted for cyberbullying and all this shit, the usual fucking things. There's one clip in particular that I would like to play for you guys that I believe adequately sums up this entire back and forth between Chantal and French Fry Girl, and I hope you will enjoy it. Oh, which one is it? Hold on, give me a second. Let me figure out which one it is first. Okay, here. I found it. No worries. I had someone clip this for me as soon as I saw it. I was watching it on my TV going to bed, and I had to rest myself from bed and go to the forum and say please God, fucking clip this for the stream tomorrow.
Yeah, I need a joint. I need an ashy. I'm about to just take off to another city. Where's Charlie's weight loss exactly? Take my channel down for what? For you reacting to me and me getting angry over your bullshit lies? Fucking morons. She can't even, she's a head on a platter. Exactly, Charlie? I want to challenge her. Every fucking fat ass reaction channel. I want you to do this. Fucking beezers. Yeah, I want you to do this. And then come at me. And this. And this. And this. Oh, sorry. I thought you were in bed. And this. I want to hear this out your fucking mouth. Hello? My scale. I scared my scale. The fuck? It's not working for some reason. I guess that means they don't have to weigh in. Oh. 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 Ah! Gianna's Baby World Reborn.
So that kind of sums it up. When I first heard this, I didn't understand what she was saying. I thought she said, I want to smoke some weed. I need a Nashi. And I thought she said ashy, like ash. And I was like, is that like a weird Canadian slang for like a blunt is like Nashi? But no, apparently a Nashi is her colloquial term for a Nashville chicken sandwich from like Burger King or some shit. And she apparently eats these Nashville chicken sandwiches so much that she'll go out at like 2 a.m. and order like 3 at a time. And no shit. I saw a stream where she, at 2 a.m. her time, drove out to Burger King, whatever, bought a Nashville chicken sandwich, ate the Nashville chicken sandwich in the car driving, and then said something like, I'm going to go to McDonald's and get food. And it's like, you literally have not even like licked the Nashville chicken sandwich sauce off your fingers. You are driving while still in the process of like masticating your last meal, and she's already thinking about eating more food. So to her, like a Nashville chicken sandwich is like negative calories, and if she eats like 3, that's just like an appetizer. That's like an hors d'oeuvre for a proper meal. And it's fucking bizarre. It's truly fucking bizarre. But her like manic shit reminds me of this. Just like her like facial tics and like weird like spurg shit reminds me of this a lot.
Do you feel blame? Are you mad? Do you feel like Woods about referendums? Get friends,
She just like all the haters. I want you to do this, and she just like gets up and starts like flailing about completely spastically. it's utterly baffling. I am forced to assume that she is fucked up on something, and then she has this great like habit of adding shaming to anything. Anytime a hater says anything about her that she does not like, she'll say that's X shaming. And now she's literally saying to people, you can't call me Cokie as like a nickname because that's drug shaming. That's habit shaming. That's drug addiction shaming. And it's like, bitch, that's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay to shame people for being a fucking drug addict. She says, oh, that's fat shaming, and that's like addiction shaming, and that's drug shaming, and that's like health shaming. She's just, everything that people will ever criticize her for is just like Chantal shaming. Like, God forbid, you have like Chantal is obviously good, is a good person who's entirely perfect. So if you say anything that's would cast shame on Chantal, you're Chantal shaming, and that's not okay. We really need to stop this before we got to this point where people feel like they can insulate themselves from any kind of like social criticism because that like their person is unique and their struggle is their own. Like, no, we're all in this together, and I have to occupy space with a woman who eats whole chickens dipped in Tennessee hot sauce every day. Do you know how bad that is for the planet? Like, I'm not one of the save the environment kind of people, but do you know how much like actual ecological damage what one fat ass does to this world? Do you know how much like gas has to be burned by the tractors that create the grain that is then shipped by truck to the chicken plants that feed the chickens so that she can eat one of those a day, deep fried and battered and covered in this sauce, all of which has its own logistical requirements. Like the actual net deficit that one person creates on this planet is unbelievable. It's like at least like 50 Romanian children. We could have 50 more gypsies on the street living below the poverty line for what it takes to not even probably, it's probably like 100. It's probably like 100 people in substandard existences in terms of like impact. It's just it's fucking incredible. And I don't feel bad for those people because they are literally like killing like, even if you don't believe in global warming and shit, like I don't know, I don't care really. I personally don't give a fuck. But I can tell that, like, for instance, we have to cut down the rainforest to develop the land to sustain our beef and chicken development. Like, in order to make enough food to feed all the people the food that they want to eat, we have to cut down a lot of shit to make those fields. And who are the people that eat the most? Like Chantal and Amber Lynn, these fat fucks who eat 8 times what a normal person does, and then they want us to pay for their health. In Chantal's case, they do pay for her health care. Every time she has a health crisis because she's killing herself by eating 8 times as much as a normal person, the taxpayer has to cover for that. Chantal is the best example you could ever ask for as an argument against social medicine. Like, here's a person who actively destroys her body with the blessing of the government and then has the government support her when she needs diabetic medication and shit. We should just allow those people to die. You want to eat 8 times the normal amount of food? You want to destroy the planet in the process of doing so? Well, you die at 35 then. Sorry, I'm not going to pay for you to continue to cause this widespread collateral damage to all these other things that I like more than you. And that's Chantal shaming. That's Chantal shaming in a nutshell. That's the collaborative analysis of her. And then you consider her drug habit. You add that on top of everything. How many Colombian children had to pick their hands to the bone to get that coca so that they could then shove it into a woman's vagina and traffic her across the Mexican-American border to get that, and then across into the Canadian side of the border so that she could then do that coca. And it's like, this is widespread human suffering to enable your habits, which are completely unnecessary and only add and compound and fracture the support system that the Canadians have built for you. And since I said coca, I'm reminded of a song that I'm now going to play 30 seconds of so I don't get a copyright strike. Oh, I have to sign in to see this? Oh, fuck you, YouTube, you piece of shit, motherfucker. I'll link it. It's like a black guy and he's just singing like, I love the coca, and it's like a really simple brain dead song, but it has very great videography. And I don't know why. I've always liked the music video for that. I'll link it. It's called Genasis CoCo. I guess it's called CoCo, not coca. Whatever. I'm in love with the coca. That's it. It's a good song. I'm not lying. Okay. Oh, shit. I meant to bring this up after I read the Ethan post, but I was going to mention that you shouldn't trust Reddit because it has people like this on it, and I've been enjoying these posts that are kind of, I don't know if they're probably fake, but I like to enjoy them as, you know what, fuck it, they're probably real. So this is from R. Witchcraft. When you overestimate your own powers and find yourself in trouble. While trying to help the women and children of Afghanistan, I decided that I was experienced enough and did not need help or advice from no one here or anyone else. I thought some simple basic hexes against those monstrous men would be simple enough, and they were. But then I tried to astral project to attack and wound the fighting spirit of the Taliban terrorists. Friends, I warn you, do not fucking try astral projecting against the Taliban, no matter how powerful, how resourceful, and how experienced you think you are. I still can't process 100% of what happened, but when I tell you that I called upon Athena, Artemis, and a host of other powerful female divinities for help, I saw them all materialize and look at me in disgust, and then being covered head to foot in black cloth by a bearded man with a sword, a golden sword at his side, wearing a turban and dressed in gold and green, no inch of skin or hair of Athena and the others showing. After this they led me in chains before a blinding light while chanting in my ear, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet," repeatedly. After that I was forced on my knees and also covered head to foot in black cloth and the bearded... And it cuts off there. Well, lady, you know what they say. You eat the kebab... stoned in hijab. I think that's how it goes. I think that's what they say. I think someone before me has said that. What is there's a name for that. There is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. It has a name. The Shahada is what it's called. And that's now the there's lots of different like fancy ways of writing the Shahada. And there is even... This is true. I'm going to spurg about this a little bit because I know a little bit about it, and I want to talk about it just for fun. There is a Unicode character for the Shahada, and it is the longest Unicode character in anything. So, if you know this Unicode character and you have something that has a like a character limit of like 140, you can post the Shahada Unicode character 140 times and it will be like 1,000,000 times longer than like just all caps W's. I think it's the Shahada. Oh yeah, it is. They've compressed it now so that it's not as fucking long. That's a shame. I think in modern fonts they don't show it as long as it used to be. But also, since I'm on the topic, the Shahada is also the new flag of Afghanistan. Just like in your Hoi 4 games and your Europa Universalis. Oh my God, someone's doing it in chat. They're spamming the Shahada. Praise be to Allah. I see it. I see the Unicode character that's way fucking long. But just like in your video games, the flag changed to this as soon as the Taliban took over because I don't know. I guess they had issue with the previous flag, which I learned was based off the German flag, which is an interesting thing, just as a comparison. That's the flag, and then when they were made independent, they changed it to this kind of. They changed it to green because if you don't know, green is the holy color in Islam, which is why the Saudi Arabian flag is also green. Anyways, nobody cares about flags except me. So, but I thought I would mention it. I thought I would educate you fucking infidels about the Shahada and the flags. Look at it. I see it. I see it in chat. I see it. I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna pin the Shahada. There we go. There's there's one more I want to read, but there's like an entire subreddit of this. And please stop spamming, because now I can't see my chat. My chat's my favorite thing about streaming. It's my beautiful chat, innocent and pure. Bewitch the Taliban. Do not face Allah alone when astral projecting. Today, while astral projecting, I summoned Allah. Actually, I need my Firefox window. I summoned Allah to try and weaken him so our hexing spells would work better. He is so fucking powerful. I'm not at a power level to do this alone. I barely escaped with my life, and I'm spiritually injured to a great amount, but I think I'll make it. I can't imagine what he would do to a new, unsuspecting witch. I'm scared that I will have to face him again soon if I ever want to continue astral projecting. I'm currently burning healing incense and drawing spiritual energy from crystals to try and heal as quickly as possible. Please be safe, everyone. Allah is much stronger than I first imagined, and we will have to do this together if we want to slay a god. So that this is really depressing to me, because it's like, you know, you hear Chris say crazy dumb shit about astral projecting to alternate dimensions, but then people actually believe. Well, I mean, this person's Reddit username is literally dumb as bitch. I assume there are more normal people than this who buy this shit. So, let's see. Bewitching the Taliban. Guys, do not flash your nutsack at Allah. Good morning, death to America. Not a wish, but as a wizard, I may be able to help. I'm creating a guild of anti-Taliban crusaders. This may have been authentic at some point. That's funny. What is this hex called suicide bomb? They are counterattacking and defeating 4 Marines that weren't astral projecting. Oh, that's great. I got a lot of shit for saying, what was it? Oh, I don't care. I don't care what people think. I'm happy my man Joe got us out. Give him a Nobel Peace Prize. I'll say it again, chat. Give my man Joe that Nobel Peace Prize, because he deserves it for getting us out of Afghanistan. Oh, and speaking of shit, all you motherfuckers who said, like, oh, you fell for, like, the Netflix documentary about making a murderer, watch season 2. Season 2 is basically narrated by Kathleen Zellner, his new attorney, and she is very scientifically minded. I don't know how the fuck anyone can watch season 2 of Making a Murderer and have any doubt whatsoever that this motherfucker was set up. All you need to know about this shit is that the key witness against Stephen Avery in the state's trial was Bobby Dassey, who lived nearby. And they took Bobby Dassey's computer. They had his hard drive. They did forensic analysis of it and determined that his last Google searches were shit like drowned pussy, tortured girl, 13-year-old cunt, drowned pussy, like shit like that. It's like the most sickening, like fucked up shit. The kind of person who absolutely positively would fucking rape and murder a woman. Just hard evidence that this motherfucker had that computer and did use it to look up depraved shit and pedophile shit. And the state did not use it against him at all and called him in as a witness against Stephen Avery. Watch the fucking season 2 if you think that the state of Wisconsin is not absolutely in the wrong here. And they're fighting so hard to hide the fact that they completely and totally fucked up and wasted the prime years of these people's lives. It's fucking sickening. I'll never step foot in Wisconsin, the most crooked fucking state in the entire country. How the fuck do you... The cops hid that. They hid this hard drive where they did analysis and found that this guy was looking up drowned children, the naked drowned bodies of children. And they hid that from the trial because they wanted him to be a witness against Stephen Avery. Like, fuck it, dude. I don't care what you say. That shit is bullshit. That motherfucker didn't kill nobody. That guy did. His, Bobby Dassey did. Sunk cost fellows. No, they know. They know that everyone there, including that Judge Fox with his fucking pedophile mustache, who presided over the case, and... For instance, like the coroner who was the coroner, no matter if it's bone fragments or a whole body in that county, if they find anything that is suspected to be human remains, she is supposed to get it. Nobody else in that sheriff's department is supposed to get those remains. They blocked her from inspecting the remains at all and told her that if she interfered in this and inspected those human remains, that she would be fired. She would be arrested even. She would be arrested for interfering in the investigation, even though she was supposed to have subject matter jurisdiction over those remains. And then when she wanted to testify in defense of Stephen Avery, the fucking Judge Fox with his fucking pedophile mustache told her she was not allowed to testify and say that she was prohibited from inspecting the remains because it wasn't relevant to the case. It makes me fucking furious. And really, if you think this guy did it and it wasn't Bobby Dassey Googling drowned 13-year-old pussy, watch season 2 because it's entirely like scientifically oriented and it goes step by step. Everything that you think was suspicious from the first season or whatever, completely obliterated by the second season. I sound like a podcast listening 14-year-old housewife. I don't care. I drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago. I don't trust any government. Everybody involved in government is inherently evil. They're not your fucking friends. I don't care if they're in your family or not. These people are dangerous. Anyone in government is dangerous. What's with dudes with mustaches being gross? I don't know. It's a good question. There should be an investigation into it. Except for like mustache, like Otto Bismarck, he had that fucking like Prussian curly mustache. That's a mustache of someone, of a conqueror, of a man's man. But Judge Fox can't pull that off. He's got the mustache of someone who copied over Bobby Dassey's hard drive after he found out that dead bodies were on it. Okay, next. Ralph, the real Ralph, the Ralph we all know and love. Several things have transpired about Ralph this week. No surprise, right? The most significant of which I feel, apparently he disagrees, but I feel that once he's been banned off everything except Odysee, right? And Odysee doesn't have a way to like monetize videos effectively. It just has a library token. So, for the last while, he's been putting all his streams on something called Killstream.tv. And this is what's called a white label service. This is a product developed by a company called Secure Server, and they rent out the website and the app to Ralph for like something ridiculous, like $700 a month. And then his customers pay through Secure Server, and I don't know if they take a cut. I assume they do, and then Ralph gets what's left over. And they get basically like they pay like $8 a month or like $70 a year, something like that. And they get access to the complete archive of Ralph's shit, which is why he's been DMCA crazy lately. He doesn't want any archives of his shit on the internet. He wants everyone to pay him for the privilege of seeing his garbage fucking podcast. And because SecureServer.tv is made by like Pajits, it was hacked recently. It was hacked this week, and we got access to it secondhand because it was leaked to like hacking sites. What they do is they get the database and then they just leak it to a forum dedicated to compromised databases. And then someone found it, they posted it to the forum, and Ralph immediately blows up and starts blaming the forum because of course he does. But before I get into that, let me explain that he and Secure Server have completely minimized the scope of his hack. I don't know if Secure Server has contacted their customers. To Ralph, based on what Ralph had said, they're downplaying the severity of it. Because you think like, oh, something got hacked. Like the forum had an issue where our Redis got access, and then using session tokens, someone was able to log in to every logged in user, and then through that access their email address from their account settings area, and then have a combination of username and email address for everyone who had been active in the last couple of weeks. When that happened, that's all they got. And it was damaging to a couple people, but most people were smart enough not to use a compromising email address as their email, as I warned people when they register on the site not to do. With Secure Server, it's a bit different because Secure Server processes financial details. So when this got hacked, not only was it username, which for a lot of people was something like you know, like something like white nationalists are super edgy about Hitler or some shit. But then they have their email address, and most people, I think, used a real email address. And then their phone number was stored as well for most people. And then their real first and last name, the last 4 digits of their credit card, their expiry date, and the security code on the back of the card was all stored in plain text in this database, in this template code that was obviously insecure because it was compromised. And he got like, they're trying to downplay what they had access to and blame like they hacked into like a third-party provider that didn't take necessary precautions. From what I understand, the database had like a simple password, and someone was able to log into the server remotely using a regular password on the root account, and then log into the MySQL database using a simple, easy-to-guess password. And then from there, they were able to download a copy of not just Ralph's shit, but a total database copy. So every piece of information except for like static content that exists on secure server, someone was able to get access. And for a lot of people, this included not only the information that I listed, but also the billing address of every customer, not just for Ralph, but for like tens of thousands of users subscribing to a bunch of right-wing podcasters who also use secure server. So them saying that, oh, it's someone else's fault, like, who the fuck is giving that third party the data then that is obviously not able to be trusted with it? And then Ralph blows it off by saying, oh, it's, you know, it's just your fucking name and credit card information and your phone number and, you know, whatever. Who gives a shit, right? What are they going to do? Don't be afraid of the Kiwi Farms. It's like, bro, the Kiwi Farms is a fucking gossip forum. Nobody on the Kiwi Farms poses a threat to your users. The people who pose a threat to your users are people who are going to be like, he didn't even like tell people what the full scope of the information was. When he said like the financial details, he said like, oh, they can't use the last 4 to make any purchases, so don't worry about it, or like some shit like that. He downplayed every fucking thing, said that the addresses weren't included. For many users, they were included. So complete lies about the scope of the attack, and didn't contact anyone. Sent out like a fucking tweet. And, you know, people went down the list, contacted every single person, and told them about what was happening. And they just fucking lied and blew it off because Ralph wants people to say subscribe to him. And he even went on and said, like, oh, people tried. You know, this was a big attack towards us. But, you know, I got 8 more subscribers. They're really rallying the troops. Everyone wants to support the show even more now. Like, okay, I fully believe that people who watch the kill stream are fucking retarded and will volunteer their information to be leaked out for the benefit of Ethan Ralph. But, like, I don't know. And I don't know how, like, I remember when the hack happened on the forum, I contacted everyone. I told them what had happened and what the implications of it were. And the only reason why it wasn't worse than it was is because we had a policy of not keeping any information, but Secure Server didn't have that. The only saving grace is that they use Stripe for credit card processing, and Stripe keeps the actual credit card number. But everything you could ever, you know, possibly hope to get from a database leak like this was leaked. So I don't know. I don't know how he can, in good conscience, downplay it, but he really doesn't have any shame. So that's the Secure Server stuff. And he blamed the forum for it. I mentioned this is the tweets now, which I will read. Kiwi Farms is engaged in literal criminal acts today, harassing the viewers of the kill stream. I will be going to the Federal Bureau of Investigation to personally report Josh Moon with my attorney. It's beyond time for something like that. This guy is an actual fucking blight. As for what they have, not much in reality. They're trying to blow it up and scare people away from supporting the show. I will also be reporting their illegal activities to Cloudflare and any other company that does business with them. Luckily, it's all been saved. I am, however, very grateful that they did all this out in the open. It's going to make possible criminal, civil, and other efforts all that much easier. Someone warns them, careful with the FBI, you're playing with fire by interacting with them. And he says, they might not do anything, but whatever. I want it on the record from my lawyers. Josh Moon crossed the line today. I'm not one of these goofballs, and it's not just me talking about civil action on this specific issue. The main thing is this: Kiwi Farms obtained some subscriber information, and now they're trying to bully you out of supporting the kill stream. Things have been secured, and I've been briefed, because I'm the fucking president of the United States, and I have secretaries that brief me on urgent national security matters like Killstream.tv being hacked, because I'm fucking important on the internet and shit. No one's financials are in danger. We even talked to TD Bank, and they said the same. I'll talk more about it when we have more than autistic and criminal posts on Kiwi Farms, but that's the long and short of it. I want to make sure everyone knows what's going on. There's nothing to be afraid of. KF relies on people fearing them, but they're nothing. Paper tigers. I'll have a video up there soon. I have to remix it because the iPhone shot it in 100,000K or whatever bitrate. And it's also a MOV file, and I guess he doesn't know how to convert that to an MP4. Site doesn't lack those, and it made the first upload super bright. I don't know. We're doing the file now. I personally confirmed tonight that Josh Moon, the pedophile owner of Kiwi Farms, is living in Belgrade, Serbia, without a doubt. I wonder what the government there thinks about an international criminal taking up residence. I sure hope that no one turns up the heat now. I don't think I'm allowed to play this on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that song is like an instant automatic like terrorist content ban. I don't know. I don't know what Serbia's take on that kind of issue is. I assume that they don't like such things, but whatever. Like I literally did nothing. I did nothing to this man. I did literally nothing. Like his own shitty fucking actions converted to him being banned from everything collectively, forcing him to go on shitty fucking services like Secure Server, and then their shitty fucking security gets hacked, and it's my fault. It's my fault again somehow. I don't understand. Oh, someone made this fan art, which I assume this is the appropriate time to put this up. But at some point in the future, a pigeon is going to shit on Ethan Ralph's shirt, and he's going to look up there and know that it was my pigeons, fully grown and trained to shit on Ethan Ralph, and he will shake his fist at me for that blight, that assault on his person and clothing. It's just like everything is my fucking fault. And it's like, bro, maybe it's not my fault. Maybe you should be angry at Secure Server. Like if you're gonna blame anyone, if you want to have civil actions against people, you should sue the people who leaked your fucking subscribers' information out, and now people can dox people like Darth Butters, who's a big supporter of the show, because of Secure Server. Maybe you should consider your options against the people who have actually wronged you in some capacity. And then, because he's so proud, because he assumes that this is something that we've done against him to deprive him of income, he immediately goes out and tells people, well, shit, we just got another 8 subscribers today because everyone's rallying around, circling the wagons to show their support for the kill stream. Them fucking Kiwi Farm cyber bullies ain't got shit on us. All that does is say, I wasn't financially damaged by this action. I have no cause of action. I have no financial harm to show the court. I don't have anything to sue for. I've recorded this on Twitter, and now it's been screen capped and posted to the fucking forum so that it can be brought up if I ever decide to sue someone. Because that's how it works in the U.S. Punitive damages are given out very rarely. especially if there's no real damages. So if you want to sue someone, you have to actually show this person did this thing which caused me X amount of dollars in financial damages, and I want that money back in compensation, and I want my attorney's fees. I want things to be, as is the case in the U.S. Civil Court, the ambition of the Civil Court is to restore things to for the person harmed to as they were before the cause of action arose. So if things are better for you after the cause of action, then there's nothing to restore. You've fucking tanked your own case immediately. Not just against me, as if I've done anything wrong to begin with, but potentially Secure Server or anyone, you know, responsible for a hack, because they haven't done anything to you. You can't sue for something that hasn't hurt you. It's just unbelievable. His pride hurts him constantly, and he doesn't learn. That is the ultimate lolcow trait, and I've always maintained that really what makes a lolcow is that they cannot learn, and you can tell them what to do. You can give them step-by-step instructions on how to fix their situation, how to improve upon themselves, and they will take that information and ignore it and continue down their path for no reason. And that is Ralph to a T, because he believes that he knows best all the fucking time, and he never stops and thinks. And I don't know. I guess it's going to continue forever until he's dead or some shit. He's engaged. I mentioned this before. I talked about this on the first week of this month, that he's engaged to Pantsu Party now, who is Digibro's ex. And he has decided to go to Las Vegas with Dick to have the wedding. We're going to have a Las Vegas wedding, very classy, very wiggerish. And he's in Las Vegas right now. Where do you guys think Pantsu is? I want to see in chat. Where do you guys think Pantsu is? Pantsu is in Richmond, I guess. She's back in Virginia. She's apparently working right now while in Afghanistan. No, she's in Richmond, only slightly better. And she's working while Ralph has flown out to Las Vegas a week ahead of her. That is quite interesting to, what's it called? To elope with your fiancé. I don't know what you call it when it's a woman. And head there to your honeymoon spot a week in advance. What could possibly be happening there? So, at the same time that Ralph decides to fly out from his pregnant fiance's home, their home in Richmond, to Las Vegas to have this wedding, someone named Love is a 4-letter word also flies out. So in this montage, you have Pantsu, Sad and Shred saying, "Kiss my love goodbye. See you in Vegas, baby." Mwah, mwah. And then from this, the love is a 4-letter word. "I'm on my way to Vegas, have to catch a flight on the same exact day." That's Ethan's major pay pig. Love is a 4-letter word. She's headed to Vegas today. Did this guy just catch Ethan's side piece flying out while May is stuck working in Virginia? Is this the entire reason he went there more than a week early? So here we have Love is a 4-letter word, flew out to Vegas the same night Ralph did, a week earlier than anyone else. And this is on a Pantsu Party video on Odysee, I believe. And she replies, oh, and they found this, by the way, they found this out because trolls called her on her phone number, which they got because she's a subscriber on Killstream.tv. And they figured this out from their phone call with her. And the Pantsu Party replies, "Love has been such a wonderful supporter of both the Killstream and our relationship. You think that makes me insecure? I am also so happy Ralph is such a dedicated supporter, many of them women. And you know why? Because Ralph is an incredible man who never gives up on what he believes in. I'd be in Vegas now too, but I have obligations and I am a woman of my word. I look forward to meeting everyone in Vegas soon." To which the original poster, Jogger Blogger, replies saying, "I never said anything about being insecure. You did." So Soon after, Ralph cancels a kill stream, just without a word, hasn't explained why, and says, "Chicken sandwich. I didn't pay for that, actually. When you're me, people pay you for lunch. You wouldn't know that feeling." And there is a picture of love is a 4-letter word for comparison. I think she's in her 40s. I mean, looks more like a woman than May, even though she's a bit older. So I assume he claims that this chicken sandwich was bought to him by Odysee. So he's, in one hand, because he's a fucking wigger and he can't let anything go out of pride. He says, "Actually, I bought this cheap ass chicken sandwich. Someone bought it from me. I didn't pay for it. I eat for free. I live like a king, baby. I'm King Wigger." And it's like, okay, he's saying that Odysee bought it for him. So it's like, okay, did Odysee like have a business conference with Ralph in Las Vegas, and their fancy business meal that they bought for him was this chicken sandwich from Big Chicken in Las Vegas? I'll tell you what. I went on a business trip. Well, here's my wigger one up for Ralph. I went to Japan once with the guys from 2 Channel, and we went up to Hokkaido on Christmas Eve. And we met the ad executive for the partner company that does ads for 2 Channel. And this guy gave me 50,000 yen as a gift. And he took us out to this really, really fancy fucking like 4-star Japanese restaurant where we all sat at this fucking table. And there's this big pot of broth in the middle. And you all dip your meat in. And it's like that Hokkaido perfectly marbled, super fancy beef that looks incredible and it tastes great, and you dip it in, you let it cook however long you want. And that's what a business meal is like when you meet people. Usually you don't have a chicken sandwich from Big Chicken in Las Vegas. What you have a chicken sandwich from Big Chicken in Las Vegas with is love is a 4-letter word, who is a supporter for your show and who flew out to meet you and have sex with you before you get married to your pregnant horsewife in Virginia. Just an interesting comparison. Meanwhile, Dick, who I assume is the best man, I don't know who the fuck it is. From what I understand, Gator was not even invited to this. Because they know. Ralph and Dick both know that they could fly out to Las Vegas and rent a penthouse suite, which they did. There are a bunch of guys from that Ralph knows, including Dick, are at this penthouse suite in Las Vegas. And Gator was not invited because they know if they flew out there to Las Vegas and invited all these fucking hoes to have like a bro orgy right before this wedding, Gator would suck the life out of that fucking room. He would be so unsexy and so like unable to jive with these cool kids, Ethan, Ralph, and Dick Masterson, that the prostitutes would just fucking leave. They wouldn't have a good time. They wouldn't want to do cocaine with Dick and Ralph. They would just fucking leave. So they said, Gator, you can't come. We're not gonna pay for you to come out to Vegas to have strippers with us before I get married. You've been a loyal supporter of the show for however many fucking years, but you are cringe incarnate. Everything you fucking say is the antithesis of funny. You are a human cancer that sucks the life out of the room. You're not welcome at my wedding. Sorry. Your grocery money will come in next week on time, and I'll send you I'll send you a book about how to pick up women. So, but this is what Dick is sending Ralph, saying you got some explaining to do. Andy Signor is in Vegas and they're surrounded by prostitutes, which cheap prostitutes because they're brown. You have to pay a premium for the white ones, and none of those chicks are white. So they got the discount prostitutes, and that's what Dick and Ralph are planning, I guess, with no Gator involved. Meanwhile, in the cuck shed, Pantsu is saying, anyone knows some good books on the war in Afghanistan? Just need some reading recommendations to keep her mind preoccupied as the events unfold and history is made. And I'm torn on Pantsu. I used to think she was just like conniving and trying to get like internet famous. She was gonna like fuck Ralph, and then someone more famous would come along like Dick, and then she'd fuck Dick, and then she'd fuck someone else more famous, and yada yada until she was fucking Elon Musk, I guess, and usurping what's her face? Grimes? Grimes is Elon Musk. Okay, yeah, Grimes. So until she was fucking Elon Musk and cucking Grimes, that was in her mind. But now, I don't even know what to think about her. I'm forced to assume at this point in time that she's not actually smart and conniving. She's just really dumb, and this has been a slow going realization for me. But I'm now at a point where I am forced to assume, against my better judgment, that Pantsu is actually just a fucking idiot. She seems entirely interested in like usurping what's her face, Faith, and like one-upping Faith and saying, oh, like on her profile. Hopefully there's no porn on her profile. Oh, that's right. She's trad now. She doesn't post porn on her profile anymore. She posts Ralph wins with like a picture of her in the wing, and I think that's like directed at Faith and Aid and Nora and shit. Like he got the most attractive out of the four. He's with me now, and it's just like it's like the most petty fucking retarded contest ever possible with Ralph, and now she's already being cheated on because he cheated on Aid with Faith in California at Dick Masterson's house. I'm seeing some parallels here. And then she cheated on he cheated on. I have notes for this actually. There's so much cheating going on. I have to write down notes. He cheated on Faith with Pantsu in Miami. That was when he was doing the in-row live streaming and the cops showed up, and he's like saying like, you guys tip $100, I'll show you Pantsu in her bikini, like that kind of shit. Was buying her lingerie and shit. So he cheated on Faith with Pantsu, but he also cheated on Aid with Faith at Dick's house in California. And that's like, so, and allegedly, if you believe Coach Red Pill, which I would tend not to, but the evidence is on his side in this case, he also cheated on Nora with a prostitute in Knoxville. So it seems like there's a trend of him getting someone knocked up or getting someone wifed up, and then him cheating on her, and then repeating that cycle forever. You know, he upgrades that chick to main hoe, and then cheats on main hoe with new hoe, upgrades her to main hoe, and then cheats on her with new hoe. So I can only assume that as we enter the Las Vegas cycle, he's also going to cheat on Pantsu with love is a four-letter word, and then upgrade her to main hoe, probably briefly because he likes him younger, and then cheat on her too with someone else. God knows who. And then we'll have like 4 or 5 demon babies walking around. And they, you know, it's easy to look at this and then think like, oh no, this is idiocracy. This is idiocracy. That's what everyone loves to say, right? But if you think about it, we need white worker bees, low IQ people to drive the trucks and work the equipment and grow the food. And there's nothing wrong with having this army of demon babies doing the menial labor for us so that we can live civilized lives. And I would prefer that them be low IQ wiggers as opposed to the invasive species that are a detriment to our culture and society. And that's assuming that they don't just grow up to be like serial killers looking up drowned 13-year-old pussy on their computers and shit. I'm just going to assume in good faith that they end up with a healthy relationship with their mom somehow and just plow fields and work the factories and serve in the military during the Civil War. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with all the Ralphs serving in the military, occupying, I would say Afghanistan, but we're out of Afghanistan. I was having a conversation about what country we're going to invade next. All the Ralphs can go die in Beijing or Taipei or Burma. We have to go, you know, Burma, Myanmar, number one, has a military junta government, and number two, has precious metals and oil and natural gas. Hey, send the Ralph children to Burma, bring democracy, get that juice, get that black gold, get that real yellow gold, and send it back to the empire, and we'll develop our capital with it. That's what I'm saying right here. The single-digit IQ dynasty. China. I'm just saying they could. Do you know how desperate the people of Myanmar are for freedom from their military government? Democracy, man. They all want to vote. That's what I've been told. They all want to vote. They all wish they could vote, especially the women. We got to send over Ralph's kids to free them. Okay, that's it as far as that goes. Part 3 of the Ralph saga is something I don't have a clip for. I'm just going to explain. In January of this year, when he and Faith had broken up, it's like a month later, and the whole revenge porn stuff is fresh. If you don't remember, Faith went to a mental hospital, and while she was being held in a psychiatric hold in a different state, I'm pretty sure she was in DC at the time, Ralph released the gun tape where he thumbs the butthole of Faith Vickers. And he sent this directly to her ex, Halfway Crook, who was live on YouTube. And he hits him up on Instagram. He's a verified Instagram account. Sends them this link to some video website. And it's a sex tape. And Halfway Crook is just like, oh, that's nice. But he did this maliciously to get revenge, literally revenge porn. And the statute for what they consider unlawful dissemination of images, which is their statute for revenge pornography, is that it has to be done for a malicious purpose. In this case, it was obviously done for a malicious purpose, so they charged him with unlawful what's the word? I just said it. I just said the word, and now the word is like a burned hole in my head. Dissemination. Unlawful dissemination of images. And the government, for whatever reason, decides to not prosecute this case anymore. A action which is called Nolla Prosequi. No prosecution. And it's different than winning. It is not winning. When you win a case, it's dropped. You can't be, because of our double jeopardy laws, you can't be charged with it again. And by the way, if you didn't know, our double jeopardy laws are pretty unique. And a lot of other countries, like, they don't have this rule. I think in most other countries they don't have this rule, where if you win your case and you're found not guilty of something, they can't ever bring it up again. In most other countries, they can actually, if new information comes out, they can charge you again. If you file an appeal in the U.S., they can only ever reduce your sentence or rule in your favor. They can't ever say, oh, actually, we're going to give you the death penalty now instead of life in prison because of new information. In most other countries, that's not how it is. If you appeal, it's like a gamble. They could look at that and say, actually, we kind of want to up your sentence now because it's even worse than we first decided. That's unique in the U.S. So he didn't win his case. They had the Nolla Prosequi, and they decided that they were going to drop it. Nobody really knew why. And it was later determined that, what we guessed at the time was that he was given stipulations, because lawyers chimed in and said usually when they do this no prosecution route, they basically don't want to pursue it, because in this instance, unlawful dissemination of images was a brand new law. It had never been used before. So for the prosecutor to be like, we could prosecute this, but we don't want to test this new law out on this particular case. So what we're going to do is say that we're not going to prosecute you, but we will prosecute you in the future if you harass Faith Vickers. And since the whole shit with Matthew Vickers in California just happened, Matthew Vickers, I believe, has won his restraining order against Ralph. Actually, I think it's not even a restraining order. A restraining order is the temporary thing. You get a judgment against you for long-term do not contact stuff. And he got the actual judgment saying don't fucking contact Matthew Vickers. And I believe he got the same against Faith. He now has a restraining order, a long-term restraining order, which is a different thing. I'm calling it wrong. But against he can't contact Faith or Matthew Vickers. And because he's fucked with Faith, I'm sure Matthew Vickers then contacted the prosecuting attorney and said, "Look, we won this judgment for harassment in California against Ralph, me and Faith, and I believe that violates the informal, deal that you had with Ralph regarding injunction. That's the word. We have this injunction against Ralph, and I believe that it indicates that he's violated your agreement with him regarding the unlawful dissemination of images prosecution." And they agree because according to the clerk of court, Spectre contacted them, and in the phone call, there's only so much that they can disclose, but they did confirm with Spectre on the phone that the case was now active again as opposed to being on hold. So once he comes home from Vegas, all refreshed from his prostitutes and 45-year-old fangirls, he will be ready and roaring to go in criminal court once again for the revenge pornography case against Faith Vickers, which is not a good place to be. And then I kind of, and I have a note here just before I get into the next thing. The case against him is a Class 1 misdemeanor, and for comparison, Chris's charge of incest is a Class 5 felony, and a Class 5 felony is like what they call a wobbler, I think was the term they used, and that's a Virginia crime, which can either be downgraded to a Class 1 felony or charged as a felony, which carries a 12-year jail sentence as a maximum. So either a 1-year jail sentence or a 12-year jail sentence. So potentially, if they choose to go the 1-year misdemeanor route with Chris, him and Chris are facing the exact same time in prison, which would be up to 1 year or $2,500 in fees, or both. So, not a good place to be. And just, again, something that could easily been avoided by not being a wigger, by keeping the ego in check. The whole reason why he sent it to a halfway crook is because of his fucking ego. And he has the biggest ego ever, and he can never ever just take the L. He can never let something roll off him. He has to constantly up the ante, and it's gonna keep kicking his ass forever. It's just forever. Like, he's gonna be in fucking jail for this shit. He's gonna get like a year sentence or whatever, and then he's gonna be in jail, and someone's gonna steal his fucking Snickers or something. And he's like, "I ain't no fucking punk, bitch." So he grabs like a plastic knife and just like stabs the guy in the neck, and then he's dead, and he ends up in like federal prison and like isolation. And he's sending out handwritten notes to Gator, and like Gator is like reading them live on air, and that's just the kill stream. And he's like still running, like, "Sure, I may be in solitary confinement for my second degree murder charge against my fellow inmate, but at least I was not a punk bitch, and I got my Snickers back. I believe that Donald Trump should be president, and he should pardon me because I ain't no bitch." And that'll just be the kill stream. And he'll just consider it a huge fucking win. And he'll still, like, send letters to Gator to post on Twitter calling me a pedophile. And that'll just be his life. And he'll continue to say that he won forever. Because he's, like, mentally ill. He's handicapped. He's just brain damaged. And he can't recover from this endless fucking spiral that is his life. Oh, Christ is King. Signed, Christ is King, Ethan Oliver Ralph. And that the kill stream will be like just 15 minutes of Gator reading it. That's good. I'd listen to that. That sounds fun. Actually, no, I wouldn't, because I can't stand Gator. There's something about him, man. He opens his fucking mouth and it's just like, ugh, shut up. Maybe get someone else who has a manlier voice. I know I shouldn't talk about voices, but I guess Pantsu could read it. Is Pantsu gonna? Do you think that if Ralph went to jail, Pantsu would stay with them for that year, or do you think she'd take off? You know what? If he did go to jail, here's what would be the absolute funniest thing that could possibly happen. Ralph goes to jail for a year. Pantsu has the baby while he's in jail. She then uses knowledge that she had for a while that he cheated on her in Vegas to have a fault divorce in Virginia, take half his shit, which I assume is like a couple library tokens, and apparently has property he doesn't even use in Arkansas. So then she sells the property and then takes the baby and leaves. That would be the absolute funniest possible outcome. She'll sell that baby? Maybe. Somebody has to get that cocaine up too. Up to Chantal. She can sell the baby to the cartel, Colombia. The Ralphs will pick the CoCo and smuggle it up to Chantal so she can smoke it. It'll complete the cycle. It'll complete the circle of life. She isn't smart enough for any of that. I don't know. I really thought that she had some sort of like grand scheme, but I guess she's just a retard, and I'm really surprised by that. I don't know why. I've always just assumed that she's smarter than she is, and not like a very intelligent person, but I think it's because she doesn't talk so much. Whereas Ralph never shuts the fuck up. So you hear what he's saying, and you're thinking, God, what a fucking retard. You hear Gator talking, like, God, what a fucking retard. But May doesn't talk that much, in comparison especially. And not talking is a flattering sign towards intelligence. Someone who keeps their mouth shut is a kind of a fill in the gaps yourself. Like, oh, there's something going on. They're thinking. They're using that time to contemplate things. But no. She's just like, I can't wait to watch the next anime. I wonder what hentai I'm going to look at today. I hope my lolicon dojins are coming in from Japan this week. And that's it. That's all that's happening. Nothing else is happening in the brain. Oh, well. I think that's it. There's one other thing I'm going to play. This happened a while ago. I think this happened the first week of August, maybe August 8th. A comedian named Trevor Moore died, and I featured a song of his, then the site got DDoS and shit. It was a fucking mess, and it happened right after the Chris stuff, so it got completely drowned out. I didn't mention it. I forgot to mention it. I intended to mention it. Never mentioned it. Never brought it up. But it has been brought to my attention that Trevor Moore had a interview just before his death, which was rolled an accident. I don't know any other details of it. It was just called and reported as an accident. But I'm going to play a bit of that interview.
But I don't think that he needs to be locked away.
So he's talking to this guy who looks like a soy boy. He looks like a surfer from PPP streams, but like cranked, like someone who's very psychologically addicted to Reddit. A Reddit version of Surfer. And they're talking about Chris, ironically, because the Chris shit just happened. And he's trying, like, if you don't know, Trevor Moore has posted selfies to, like, 4chan in 2013 and stuff. So he's someone who's, like, big on internet culture and grew up around that time and paid attention. He's probably played TF2, like a true gamer. And he's having this conversation with Soy Surfer about Chris. And then this conversation happens. I'm just going to let it play.
Story, it'll probably get swept under the rug because it's too much. We're not ready to talk about this. But my God, you could write essays for 1,000 years on this.
About the Jeopardy guy?
No, about the Chris Chan situation. It's one of the darkest. It's almost a mythical level tragedy, and you could take it any way where it's the failure of our state systems to deal with people who are mentally impaired, the problem with being there's so many angles to this thing.
Okay. Is there a documentary about Chris Chan? Somebody says
there's so many documentaries.
Oh, really?
No, this is the most documented man in human history.
How am I not aware of any of this, man?
Because it's been deep internet. It's never been mainstream. He started trending on Twitter this week, and it was like, oh shit, now everyone's gonna know what what we've been watching for a while, like kind of thing.
So some people don't know him, and some people say he's like crazy famous. I gotta know, I gotta do a poll. How many people?
He is an original. He's a 1.0 like internet kind of celebrity sort of thing.
Were you familiar?
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Chris
Like I've been watching this guy for like 4
before
years.
last week. Yes. No. Gotta know.
Now, part of it is because he's from my hometown. I know exactly where he lives. I know exactly where he went to school. Like, you know, like he's from my hometown.
Wow, this is neck and neck. Okay. All right.
But this, like when the internet was the Wild West, you know, this was, you know, have you ever heard of Kiwi Farms?
Kiwi Farms? No. What's that?
Oh, well, that was basically created because of this guy.
Oh. True Detective Floppers donated, says, I can act. Half Smashed Face donated $10, says, you can't understand why we don't get it. Honestly, the slimy, detreating old lady. I don't know what that means.
I'm gonna cut it there. But I had never seen this, and it blows my mind. He says he's been watching Chris for 14 years, and I bet you he's been a fucking lurker for forever. And what I really love is after he says this, by the way,
Basically created because of this guy.
Oh.
The chat.
True Detective Floppers donated, says, I can act. Half Smashed Face donated.
Kiwi Farms is so fucked up. So he is also from the
Donated
bus. Kiwi Farms is a trash
Says,
hole.
you can't understand why
Oh
we don't
boy.
get it. Honestly, the slimy, detreating
Oh no.
old lady. I don't know what that means.
The farms. Oh god, not Kiwi Farms. I just like the reactions from that. That guy didn't know who he was, but Trevor Moore did. And I appreciate that. I've never seen like Whitest Kid You Know. Actually, you know what? There's a really funny clip that I do know from Whitest Kid You Know. I get whenever you like see stock photos these days, it's always like a black person. Like if you were an alien looking at stock photos in media and trying to piece together what human society is like, you would assume that every business owner on the planet was a black woman with like super curly hair. Because anytime they use business owner, it's like a black woman with curly hair. Every time it's a doctor patient relationship, it's always a like a black doctor. And when I see a black doctor in stock photography, I always think of this clip from Whitest Kid You Know, which I only thing I'm familiar with.
He was a young, well-to-do stock trader shopping for a gift for his fiancée, until one fateful day when he accidentally broke a priceless vase. Now the tables have turned, and this young go-getter must spend his life in service to this eccentric Asian shopkeeper. Check out the hilarious new show, Yuppie Indentured Servant.
Well, the problem with your pitch is that the show is racist.
What? It's a fish out of water story.
Okay, but the fish out of water story
I just want the
is
song.
that it's weird for a white man to be a slave to an Asian man,
Want
which
the song.
suggests that the norm would be
Here we
the
go.
other way. Sure.
Well, he was riding his bike when there was a lightning strike, and now he reads real fast. He's good at science and math. Black doctor.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Where exactly did he get the bike?
He stole it.
Right. That's right. You know, I don't think we're going to be going down the road with that.
I miss it so much. I miss it when you can make jokes like that, but you can't anymore. And he was a part of it. He was a part of Whitest Kid You Know. And I know there's like the race war clip and everything. But I know him in particular because of one other thing, which will be the outro song for this stream. I'm about to play it. If you do not normally listen to my outro song, do you think my taste in music is trash? I beg of you, just this once, listen to this entire thing. It'll be stupid for the first minute and a half. But then afterwards, you'll understand why I have such a strong affinity for the song. And it is very strange for me to know that this person who I enjoy the work of. I'm not like a super huge fan. I never watched Spice Kids, I know a couple clips, but I am a genuine fan of this song, and I am very sure. I literally, unironically believe, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid as we speak, that he was killed in a quote-unquote accident because of this song. It delivers a message that elites do not want people to believe in an effective way that was aired on Comedy Central. And I 100% believe it was retaliation. You cannot have people like Trevor Moore, famous and alive, in the Hollywood elite circles because he knows too much, and he'll probably tell people how fucking awful Hollywood is. Anyways, that's the stream. I'm about to play the song. Thank you for watching. I will not stream next week. I might put something else out for fun. No promises, but I will be back after that Friday. I will stream on the 10th of September. Coins are rolling out. I'll probably be in email contact with the coin people, just so that people are getting their deliveries on time and that stuff. But hopefully the site won't be DDoSed immediately. I have people lined up to take care of things while I'm gone, but chances are I'm just not gonna read email at all for like an entire week and just see how bad it gets while I'm not there. I think that's it. Here's the big banner. I will see you guys on the 10th. I like to read the comments, so I want to encourage people to comment about something. Comment if you think they killed Trevor Moore, or if legit, unironically, tell me if you think they killed Trevor Moore, or if you think I'm being too conspiratorial. That is my my question that I would love to see your insights on in the comments. Take it easy, bye bye, and remember, listen to this fucking song, please.